Guys,
Hello. So we're here to just share some thoughts, share some things that might be helpful. We wanted to talk about connecting as a couple each day, each week, being intentional about it, and especially what it's been like for us both working from home.
yeah, I've got even questions like, how do you and Deidre fight?
Yeah, people ask that to Brody often.
Part of our routine is, we've shared before, is we get up every morning at 5, 6 a.m. I get up at 5, I stretch, Deidre gets up at 6, then we go for a walk. And what do? Well, we pray. It's our first connection of the day. And that prayer connected to God really sets us up and really puts Him above our relationship because He's the Lord of our relationship.
Yeah.
So the first thing is we connect with God.
Yeah, and as we're walking, we're waking our body up, we're waking our spirit up, and then we're being intentional of having connection together. Because when we're walking, we usually start with just thanking God for, I don't know, thank you that it's sunny, I thank you that I have warm clothes. Just
thank you for our friends.
Thank you for our friends. Just thankfulness.
Gratefulness, yeah.
And then there will be a time in our walking that we pray for one another as well.
Yeah, and praying for one another really starts our day focused on God and focused on the love that we have for each other. And without God, we wouldn't be able to do that.
No. And I know for me, I just feel so honored when my husband prays for me. Or some of my favorite moments literally have been when he's in another room worshiping and praying and I can hear him. And he's not doing it because I'm in there with him telling him he should or anything like that. It's just the overflow of his heart. And I hear it. And then when I've heard him pray for me, it just really touches my heart. I don't know if you know that.
Thank you. Okay.
So,
when we're out, sometimes we do have things like, how do you fight? Well, it's not that we fight, but we see things from different perspectives, different ideas, even different traumas that have happened, or how relationships have been presented to us in the past, maybe from our families.
Yeah.
So we talk about these things and we discuss these things, and then I learn so much about Deidre, like so much. I'm like, oh, I get that now. That's why you see that way, and I'm being this way because of something I've learned that maybe is not correct and it needs to be worked at.
So I do think it's really helpful to not just, if there's something that really hurt you, to not ignore it, to not just like put it under the rug and forget it's there. But there are times where if something sat with me funny, I just bring it up to Brody the next day or something. Bring it up in a time that potentially there's not an emotional heightenedness that maybe you're not going to be able to hear each other because
the right time is important.
Yeah.
The right time. You can pray for the right time.
Yeah. Yes, and ask God to help you bring it up in a way that you're not going to bring fighting or attack one another.
Yeah, you come and each person needs to be at a place of humbleness and a place of eagerness to learn.
Yeah. And we just have to catch our hearts because, like, if we're thinking honestly, there are times where Brody will tell me something, and if somebody's telling you something that is true, but you don't really want to hear it, you feel who are you to tell me this? You feel that, like, you get offended, and it, like, pushes back. But if you can push past that to actually listen and be like, let me reflect and take some time.
And this is a practice you can do in all relationships.
It's totally true.
Yeah.
So sometimes I bring up things to Brody. It will sit funny in my heart. I didn't think that maybe he expected it to come off a certain way. And then I talk about it the next day or something and say, hey, love, I noticed this the other day. And then sometimes I bring up things when we're walking together because I find sometimes it's easier to talk about things when you're moving. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's easier to talk when you move?
It helps us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creativity is flowing when you're moving. So one thing that we learned in our walking in the morning is we started out where we would get up at the same time and then we would start the day and we would get going. And Brody started realizing for himself that wasn't working the best for him because he really liked to have slower, quiet mornings. But when I got up, I was like, go, let's get our clothes on, let's go outside. So he felt really rushed. So we had a really different way of starting our day. So he had to figure out, well, how do we still pray or walk together and get up early, but what works for him to also be able to have what he needs? And that's a slower morning. So
so I decided, and we made a compromise. I get up an hour earlier, and I spend my time with God, and I do my morning stretches and my morning routine just a bit earlier before Deidre gets up.
Yeah, so he has time to get ready for the day. He really enjoys it. And then I enjoy that when I get up because I want to get going and moving, that he's ready to meet me in that space. And then we can get going. So what are some other things that we do to connect together?
We have a lot of rhythms now, but they're all good. They've helped a lot. We do, a couple times a week, we read together.
Yeah.
A book that we're reading right now actually is called Created for Connection.
There you go, connection.
So, reading has really helped us because we learn new ideas from different people and different experiences.
Yeah, we've read quite a few books together or even listened to audiobooks together. And what we like to do is maybe we'll lie on the couch together and be like, do you feel like reading or do you want me to read? And then we'll go back and forth of who reads so we stay focused.
A constant place of learning together.
And then we talk about it. Yeah. We talk about, okay, how do we see that in our relationship or what do you think about that? And that opens up discussion, which I really appreciate.
We intentionally book in times during the week, date night and connection times throughout her schedule. So every Sunday for us, we actually schedule our weeks together.
Yeah, we sit down, we take out I have a whiteboard calendar. Brody will have his agenda and we'll talk about, okay, what does our week look like? What are some things that are important for us to plan in? Now, I know that some of you might think, planning, romance, or planning this or planning that. That sounds lame or it sounds not passionate. But you know what? We have to be intentional because oftentimes we have learned that if we don't plan, it's so easy to just get caught up in kind of the wave of the week and
miss it.
We don't connect with
We don't connect at all, and then we feel disconnected.
Yeah, and then usually we're grumpy. So, yeah, we schedule together Sundays.
Grumpy is a sign you're feeling disconnected.
Yeah.
Really, when your wife is grumpy, she just wants you to love her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so profound, isn't it? It is.
And there's different ways to love one another, right? I don't know if you guys have ever heard about love languages, but we receive and give love in different ways. And it's really helpful that we've learned one another's way that we most feel loved. Because then we can really hit straight to the heart. How do you most feel loved? So your love tank is filled up quick. So I've learned that your love languages are words and physical touch. So we just have to figure out what that looks like in the week, in the days of little things. If I'm being oh, he looks really handsome today, then I need to tell him that and not just think it. Or there's really funny times in the day when we'll be in different rooms and I'll be like, hey, love! And he'll be like, what? And I'll be like, I love you! We just yell at each other. Yeah.
And my love languages for Deidre are she loves acts of service. So most days you will find me in the kitchen doing the dishes, making pies. No,
making pies. I'd have to eat them all.
Yeah. So acts of service, Deidre feels cared for when doing those.
And quality time.
Yeah, quality time, which we're kind of doing right now. Maybe when we're not on camera.
Yes, but reflecting on our relationship together. So it's quality time for me is really just being intentional. We make that time together each week that we have our date night. And we always do different things. It could be really different. We actually bought a book called the Couples Adventure Challenge. So you scratch off different date ideas to just give us kind of new ideas to try things out and to have fun together. But the simplest thing is for a date night, we went to the dollar store and bought paint and a canvas and we decided to paint together, which I think was pretty ambitious because we're not painters.
And very vulnerable.
Super vulnerable. Oh my goodness, now we're showing them our art.
It kind of looks like a volcano erupting.
You can call it like messy love or something
Yeah.
like that. We should put it away. But we were using our creativity together, and it was something out of what we normally
Messy
do.
love. And bidding right now. We are throwing this up right now. We got $5, we got $10, we got $20.
Abstract.
Abstract.
Abstract, messy
Yeah.
love. What are some other things?
One other great thing that we've been really enjoying, which I actually brought this to the table, is we eat together.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that personally. So we pick days during the week where we'll actually sit, pray, eat, and enjoy each other's company and enjoy the food God has blessed us with together.
And maybe some of you already had a rhythm where you eat dinner together every day or something like that. We didn't. And we didn't really notice. And then Brody made a comment one day that he liked eating together because we were eating together. And then it dawned on me of like, oh, he enjoys this and we don't actually do it often. So then we just started being intentional about it. When we sit down on Sundays to talk about our schedule, I'm like, hey, what days could work that we just be intentional maybe 2 to 3 times a week and have a meal together.
And soon we're going to make a rhythm of Deidre cutting my hair. Because where do you get your hair
No,
cut
we're not doing that.
during this
No.
time? And maybe if you know, put some suggestions of what you've done with your hair during this time.
No.
Underground barbers, put some comments.
Yeah.
So those are just some ideas that we've picked up over this season of life. And if you have some ideas, maybe you can put them in the comments below of what has been working for you and your family.
Yeah. Connection.
Connection.
You got to think of each other as a team. You're on the same team.
Yes. Same team.
Hashtag team hate.
Yes. Hashtag team hate. It kind of goes like, yeah.
It's okay.
Hashtag team love. Hate. Hate love. Guys, thanks for watching. Please comment below, share our videos, and leave your ideas and what's working for you.
Till we see you next time.
Bye.